obviously disappointed with the loss, but it was a good week. Good week to. It's an adventure going to Australia, for 7 days, and then coming back and dealing with the flight and all that. But they did that good, and they're ready to get back into Super League. The journey in itself is physically hard. You're in a cabin for 14 hours, and you get a couple of hours break, and you go back in that cabin again for another 8 hours, and there's not much you can do while you're in there. So physically, there's a bit of drain, but actual jet lag where your sleeping patterns are disrupted to such a degree where you can't operate, it's not going to be that bad. We don't play well Sunday, so we arrived back in England on the Sunday, and we 7 days really to prepare. So this is given that we're in Super League now when we've already played 2 rounds, and we always knew we were going to play round 3 a week after we got back. So we'd just be clicking our heels. If you give us 10 days or 2 weeks to recover, that'd be too much. Jack Walker's torn a cartilage, and we're just going to wait to see if that can settle down on its own with rehab. But we have to wait a period of time to find that out, and then if it hasn't settled down and it needs an op, we've then got to wait even further, because isn't health and safety an amazing thing? Because now you can have an operation within 3 weeks of flying or something like that. Wow. That's something I've just been told about. Wow, I said wow as well. And even if he did have an op, I don't think it's going to be a mega long one. So we'll lose him for 2 or 3 weeks. And the other fellow was Stevie Ward. He's got a tear in his calf, but it's not going to be a big one. It's not a long-term thing. Although we're still going to be missing him for anywhere between 4 and 6 weeks. You always got to strike a balance as a coach when you're mentioning your injury crisis, because you don't want them to give the impression that your team that you're putting out there isn't capable. But we are putting out a different version of a team that played in Australia. So we have to be mindful of that. But, and I believe it as well, I'll quickly add that the team that we're going to field against Widnes is good enough. Because we can train on our 3G field, a lot, it probably affects us a little bit less than somebody who doesn't have the 3G field. But I don't think their 3G field's as good as ours. Ours is in better nick than theirs, and ours is only a training surface. Their 3G field is, in my opinion, is too firm. It's not. There's not enough give in it, and for what it's worth, it's not something we look forward to doing. Just purely on such a dramatic change in surface from week in, week out on what we play.
Does that affect the physicality of players? Does it affect the game a lot? Is it a combination of both?
Yes, I think it does. Yeah. We were down 4 props. Of our named squad at the start of the year, we were down 4 props, and our 4 biggest men of the team were down. We went out there without them. And during the game, we lost Stevie Ward. Joel Moon really shouldn't have played. He was, we tried to rest him up before. He didn't play against OKR before we went, and he didn't train all week, Mooney. And had it not been a World Cup Challenge final, he probably wouldn't have played, but he played him. So we missed the best of Mooney, and then to lose Jack Walker during the game as well. Such a pivotal position to lose, where you've got to jostle people around. It then made the task in Melbourne a really difficult one. But the fact that we lost the game, given those circumstances, wouldn't be so much of a surprise. What's disappointing is that which the injuries had no bearing on, was some of the soft tries that we conceded, which on such a stage there, we've been better in D for quite some time, and that those soft tries that we conceded were disappointing. But I think the relentless nature of Melbourne's attack, whether that be a carry that's too strong for you to handle, or a quality attacking shape or play, that's something that we all aspire to. I thought that's what Castleford were very good at last year, in that their whole offensive set, on every single play they had something to challenge you with. They didn't have too many breathers. They didn't carry the ball for a couple of times, which were 4 out of 10 carries, just so they could set up a big play. Castleford hit you all the time with different plays. Melbourne are very similar in that, so that's something that we aspire to. But at the same time, I've got to say that while there's no medals handed out for bravery or commitment or courage, I thought we were great. I was extremely proud at the end of the game because there were some moments during that where we had some really tired men. Jamie Jones, Buchanan, Carl Ablett, Brad Singleton, Adam Cuthbertson, who broke his hand during the game, went back on the field because we had nobody left. For them to keep offering themselves to do a job in the team, you know, against all momentum, it's good to see this. But that will have done us the world of good. Just being away together for a week, enduring some adversity, whether it be with the flights and the travel and training in different venues, seeing each other in a different environment. You know, we may not get the benefit from that this year, but at some stage, one of our young fellas will grow up, will rely on that experience. Therein is what you call experiences together, that you know they're going to do you good. You know, whether it actually helps us win the grand final this year, I don't think I'll say that, but it makes your squad healthier towards the end of the year. Now, to go away for a week anyway, we normally do, but to then play a game against a team, you know, of their quality in their own backyard as well. We didn't have to go, you know, because they wouldn't travel over here, so we didn't have to go. But you know, we made that pledge to go there, and I'm glad we did. It's been a very good experience. More than that, it's not really about Ashton. He's got a job to do with us now, so you know, he'll have a run of games now before Jack Walker puts his hand up and says he's ready to play, and then when he does that, then we'll assess it, and the best performer will get the shirt, as has been the case so far. You know, he's no slouch as a fullback, Ashton, and it's been really tough not having him in the team. And you know, when I picked the team for the World Cup Challenge, he wanted to play, he expected to play, and I like that attitude from him. He didn't wave his arms at me and say, I know you're not going to pick me, coach. He actually presented himself in front of me and said, am I playing? And wanted to play. And they're really difficult conversations to have, but he's got a fantastic attitude towards it. And for a young man, I heaped a lot of praise on him last year when he wasn't picked for the big games, and it was right to do so because he handled it remarkably. But for a young man to appreciate it's a long season, and while he's really disappointed that he hasn't been playing, he knows he was going to get his chance. And I've often said, and I said it about Jimmy Kainos before the OKR game, while you're out, what your mindset's like is massive, it's really important, because if you're sulking and you've got a negative bitterness about you, when you actually get your chance, it sometimes backfires. So his head's in a great state, has been, and I'm sure he'll do us a great job.